Hi guys and welcome back. So continuing on with the Halloween fever, today we're going to make this adorably cute cauldron. This is really simple to make and takes absolutely no time to work up. Before we get started, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to get notified every time I post a video. If you try out any of my patterns, please share them with me either on Instagram or by email. The links are in the description below. So let's get started. So here are all the supplies you're going to need for this project. I'm going to be using some black yarn. This is sport weight yarn. It's pretty thin. You can use any yarn that you like. If you use medium 4 worsted weight yarn, the project is going to be much bigger. Along with my yarn, since it's thin, I'm going to be using a 2mm crochet hook. I also have a yarn needle, a stitch marker, and some stuffing. You're not going to need much of this, just a little bit. You can use either polyfill, fiberfill, or stuffing from pillows. You're also going to need a small electric light that just lights up like this. You can either get a rainbow colored one or just a regular candle. So in order to get started with our project, we're going to be making a magic ring. To make a magic ring, wrap the yarn across the back of 2 of your fingers to create an X behind your fingers. Insert your crochet hook into the bottom, pick up the top and twist, and then you can just pull up a loop. You have a magic ring ready. Now into this magic ring, you're going to place 6 single crochets. To place a single crochet, insert your crochet hook into the loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now tuck the tail end of your magic ring tightly to close up the ring. So if you see the circle is closed up. Now for row number 2, into each one of those stitches from the previous row, we had 6 stitches. Into each one of them, we're going to place 2 single crochets, and that's called an increase. So into the first one, 1 and 2. Into the second one, 1, 2. Into the third one, 1 and 2. And you're going to do this 6 times all the way around until you have 12 stitches for this row. Now before we get started with the next row, just place a stitch marker on the last stitch, and that's what we're going to use to track our rows. Now for the next row, into the very first stitch, you're going to place 1 single crochet, into the one after that, and increase, or 1 and 2. Into the next one, again 1, into the one after that, 1 and 2, so that's your repeat pattern. Into the first stitch, 1 single crochet, into the one next to that, 1 and 2. And you'll do this 6 times all the way around until you have 18 stitches for this row. 1, 1, 2. Now for the next row, you're going to do 2 single crochets. So 1 in the first stitch, 1 in the second stitch, and into the third stitch, 1 and 2. Again 1, 1, 1 and 2. So you're going to follow the pattern of 1, 1, 1 and 2 6 times all the way around until you have 24 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, we're going to place 3 single crochets. So 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. And into the fourth stitch, we're going to place an increase, or 1 and 2. So again 1, 1, 1, in the next stitch 1 and 2, and you're going to do this 6 times all the way around until you have 30 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to follow a similar pattern. You're going to do 4 single crochets followed by an increase in the 5th stitch, 6 times all the way around until you have 36 stitches for this row. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. For the next row, we're going to do 5 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until we have 42 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to do 6 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 48 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to do 7 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 54 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, we're going to do 8 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 60 stitches for this row. Now for the next 10 rows, you're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 60 stitches for each of the rows. So complete the next 10 rows and then meet me back here again. So now once you're done with your repeat rows, this is what it should look like. Now we're going to do a row of decreases. So we're going to start with 8 single crochets. Once you're done with your 8 single crochets, we're going to do a decrease. So you're going to see that each stitch has 2 parts. So let me split it and show it to you. So if you see right here, you have a front part and a back part. We're going to pick up just the front part of the first and the second stitch. You'll have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Let's do that again. Place your 8 single crochets. Now it's time to do a decrease again. So split your stitch, pick up just the front loop, split the next stitch, pick up just the front loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You're going to do this 6 times all the way around until you have 54 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to do 7 single crochets followed by a decrease 6 times all the way around until you have 48 stitches for this row. So that's my 7 single crochets. Let's do a decrease together again. Split the first stitch, pick up just the front loop, split the next stitch, pick up the front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you're going to do 1 row of just 1 single crochet all the way around for 48 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, we're going to be working only in the front loop. So if you remember, we split our stitches. We're going to be working only into the front loops, and you're going to do 7 single crochets followed by an increase. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and into the 8th stitch we're going to place 1 and 2. So 7 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 54 stitches for this row, and you're going to follow that up with just 1 single crochet all the way around into both the front and the back loops. So now after you're done with your row of front loop single crochets, if you can see, a little brim is formed around your cauldron. And now for the next row, we're going to go into the front and back loops just how we've been doing regular single crochets, and place 1 single crochet all the way around for 54 stitches. And after that, we're going to fasten off, because that finishes up our little cauldron. Now once you're done, you're just going to slip stitch into the stitch after your last stitch. Grab your scissors, snip your yarn off, pull it through. You can remove your stitch marker, and you can just hide in the end. Your little cauldron is ready. Now if you want to make your cauldron a little more steady, you can just place it on a piece of thermocol or on some cardboard. Just take a pen out, roughly mark the size of the bottom, cut it out and place it on the inside. Now we're going to start with the handles of the cauldron. For that, we're going to start first with a slip knot, insert your crochet hook, tighten, and now you're going to chain 12. Now you're going to skip the first 2 chains. Into the third chain we're going to do a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your crochet hook into the loop, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's 1, 2, 3, and you're going to do this until you have 10 when you reach the end of the row. Once you're done, this is what it looks like. Now you're going to chain 1, turn your work around, go into each of those stitches and just place a slip stitch. This will help make the edge a little neater. So just place a slip stitch across like this. Once you're done, you're just going to leave a tail, snip your yarn off, pull it through. Now you can thread your yarn, and now we're going to sew it on the sides of our cauldron. So if you see, I already sewed one on. I've gone about 3 rows below the brim, so that's going to be roughly over here. I'm going to attach on the piece. I hope you can see this, and we're going to sew it like this. So do a couple of stitches on top, and then with the tail you have over here, you can do a couple of stitches on the bottom. What you want to do is create a curve for the handle of your cauldron. And once you've attached both the sides, this is what it should look like. Now let's create 3 little feet. So now we're going to start working on the legs of the cauldron. You're going to make 3 of these. You're going to start with a magic ring, and into this magic ring you're going to place 8 double crochets. To place a double crochet, yarn over, insert your crochet hook into the ring, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now you're going to tuck the tail end to close up your magic ring, and you're going to place a slip stitch onto the very first stitch that we made. Now for row number 2, we're going to start with a chain 2, 1, 2. Into the first 3 stitches, 1 double crochet each. That's 1 in the first stitch, 1 in the second stitch, 1 into the third stitch. Into the fourth stitch, a double crochet increase, or 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Repeat that one more time. 1, 1, 1, and into that fourth stitch you're going to do an increase, or 2. Once you're done, you're going to slip stitch onto that very first chain to close up this row. For the next row, you're going to chain 1, and now we're going to do a row of single crochets. Let's do 3 single crochets followed by a single crochet increase. One more time, 3 single crochets followed by a single crochet increase. End up the row with 3 single crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Slip stitch to close up, and you have a leg made for your cauldron. Go ahead and make 2 more exactly like this. Now once you're done, you can sew on the legs to the bottom. 1 on this side, 1 on this side, and then 1 on this side. If you want, you can add a little bit of stuffing inside. Now to complete the final bit of our cauldron, you can take your little light place it on the inside. And now we're going to take some stuffing and place it around. If you want, you can use some coloring and color these in different colors as well, or use a rainbow light on the inside, and this is what it looks like. So here's my cauldron complete. It worked up in absolutely no time and it looks so adorable. I really hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you liked the video, please share it with all your friends. If you try out any of my projects, do share it with me. The links are in the description below. Until next time, bye bye.